Jasim's gone again.
I'm here, man. I've not gone anywhere.
Hi, everyone. Today's session is about going from survival mode to thrive mode. How can you thrive rather than just surviving? And this is, I believe most people when they wake up, and this is with most people, I'm not saying everyone, okay? When they wake up, all they're thinking about is their bills, right? My bills are 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, whatever that may be. How can I just pay my bills, right? If you're gonna ask this question to yourself, do you think you're gonna make 50 grand this month? I'm asking this to Jasim.
No.
Or for that matter, let's say you wake up with this question, how can I pay 3 grand or 5 grand worth of bill and you will make 10 grand by the end of the month? Would you make that 10 grand? Very less likely.
No.
But if you change that question from how can I make 5 grand to how can I make 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever that may be for you, don't overwhelm yourself by saying I want to make 50 grand because that's a hell of a target. If you've not made 5 grand, you can't target 50. If you've made 5, you can target 7 or 10 or 12, but not 15. Okay, not 50. Okay, you make 2 grand this month, the next month needs to be 4 grand or 5 grand, not 10 grand. Not 1 million unless you've not made 500,000. Okay, it does not work like that. You gotta be in a position to say, you know what, this year I made 50 grand. Next year I'm gonna target 120 maybe. Okay, not from 50 to 1 million.
Correct.
It's just not going to happen. And all you're gonna do is overwhelm yourself, and that actually puts you off. You wanna be able to do things, believe things first, and do things that help you progress. Okay, ask yourself the questions that will help you progress. Okay, if you are asking the wrong kind of question, you're just not going to get there at all. Like, it's just not going to happen. Okay, when let's say I wake up tomorrow morning. Okay, I'm going to give you an example on me. Okay, I wake up tomorrow morning and I ask myself, and this is something that I was just discussing with Harry before this call, is, in fact, I did this about 1.5 years ago. I was working on a few finance cases and they were really, really painful to get over the line. Like, it was just so painful. And at the end of it, there's only maybe 5 grand to make. And I was just going through so much pain of doing this manual things, right? And I asked myself, how can I remove myself from the picture and create a system that will allow me with less pain and make as much money or more money? Okay. And then that was the day I got in touch with about 7 or 8 different companies that work on automation of finance deals. Okay. It took me 1.5 years, and I'm going to cover, there's 2-3 aspects to this. Okay. It took me 1.5 years to go from that point, which has been on my to-do list since then, to a point yesterday to go into collaboration with 2 different companies. Okay. Now, just because you wake up in the morning and ask yourself, you know what, how can I make 20 grand this month? It doesn't mean it's going to happen that month. Okay. You have to keep asking that question every single day when you wake up and keep working towards it. Okay. Anyone who tells you that you can wake up and make 20 grand the same day, okay, it can happen depending on the context you're in. Okay, but it will not happen with everyone. If you have good hard skills, you know, for example, Jasim, I'm going to give you an example on Jasim, on yourself. Okay. How many people can you connect with today that are serious developers and may have work for you? May. How many calls can you make today?
I can make at least about 15 to 20 calls if I'm just doing that minimum.
Okay. These are people who trust you.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you call them up and say, you know what, I really need some work, and the fact that they will give you the work.
We are looking at about, with that thing coming in, we are looking at about 15 people, 15 calls I can do.
Okay, 15. Okay. Let's say you make those 15 calls, and out of the 15, only one has or two have work for you, ready work. Okay.
Correct.
And you turn up to them and say, you know what, your work is gonna, normally I would have charged for this work 10 grand. But if you agree to sign me up today, I'll give you a discount of 2 grand. And if you pay me the money, some of that money today. So out of the 8 grand, pay me 2 grand today. Do you think you can negotiate that? To some extent?
To some extent, yes. I'm not 100% sure I can negotiate that.
That's because your sales skills may not need slight bit more push, right? Okay. But the point I'm trying to make is that you could wake up tomorrow morning, and if you want to make 2 or 3 grand or 5 grand, that is possible for you to make that 2 or 3, 5 grand today in
Correct.
your account.
Correct.
But did you get here in a day? You didn't, did you?
No. No.
And does it require hard skills? It's not soft skills. Soft skills is pretty obvious. You have to pick up the phone, you have to speak with them, you have to persuade them, you have to sign an agreement, you have to take the money in your account. Requires soft skills. But does it require mainly the hard skills or not?
Yes, it does. Because that is what I have, like, if
Exactly.
I can pick up the phone through 15 people and speak to them confidently, it's because they have seen my hard skills, they've seen my expertise. That's why I can pick up the phone and speak to them.
Okay. The point I'm trying to make, Jassim, is that's shifting the gear. You wake up tomorrow morning and you say, I'm going to make those 15 calls. And not just that, but you're going to ask those 15 people who trust you to give you at least 5 recommendations. And you speak with them as if they are going to do you a favor. And you will help them in the process. Which means when they call you back and they want an analysis done, which can take you an hour, you won't charge them. That's fine. But they need to give you the names of 5 people that they know who are serious investors and developers. And they will do the introduction. Do you think you can do that?
Yes, I can.
Would they give you 5 names? Not rocket science. 5 names of...
5 is not difficult.
Yeah.
But whether all will give, I'm not sure. But
no,
at least quite a few of them.
Of course, not all. So see, there's nothing written on stone. I'm saying on average, would they give you maybe 4 or 5 names?
Three to 5 names on an average should be possible. That's
fantastic.
Good.
Would you do that tomorrow, Jassim, for me?
I will.
Do me a favor. Do that tomorrow. Okay?
Sure.
Would you remind me on Monday to give you 5 names from my list?
I will.
Would you call Muzzy tomorrow and say, Muzzy, can you give me 5 names?
Yes.
Would you call Seti tomorrow or day after or next week sometimes and say, Seti, can you please give me 5 names? I will look after you.
I will.
Would you call Lavanya and say, can you give me 2 names?
I will.
Would you call Harry and say, can you give me 2 names?
Harry has already given me 10 names.
Harry, can you give 2 more names, please? He's already given you 10 names. Good. Okay.
No, 10 is just an exaggeration, but he has definitely given me quite a few leads where we are, and one of them we are now in the process of retaining him as a sourcing client.
We are about to retain a client that's been recommended by Harry. There's money in it for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My point is that's changing the gear from surviving to thriving.
Correct.
Okay. That's exactly what I did when I started, guys. Trust me, in some cases, when I started this, I was begging people to tell me who are the serious investors around them. I was initially begging because I really wanted to push this, like really wanted to push this. 2 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock at night, in the morning. And then I'd be tired by 10 o'clock. I'd sleep for 2 hours, wake up at 12 o'clock again, and work till 10 o'clock at night. Does that make sense, guys? Let me apply this to someone else's context. Roger, would you like me to give you this in your context? Because there's one aspect which is slightly different in your context. Roger, are you there? Not sure if you can hear me. Let's start with Seti. Seti?
Yeah.
Bro, how many properties do you manage today? Like, do you have an exact number today?
312.
312. Okay. Do you want to go from 312 to 412?
Oh, yes.
In about... So going from 312 to 412 would be roughly about 25% growth, right?
Yeah.
In 6 months?
If not sooner.
Is that, if not sooner, but let's say 3 months. I'm just trying to be slightly realistic here, okay?
Yeah.
And there's two things here.
Yeah.
Just be only slightly realistic. Don't ever be too realistic, okay? Because being too realistic actually restricts your growth.
Yeah.
Okay? If you wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I want to go from 5 to 6. That's being too realistic. Going from 5 to 10 is slightly unrealistic because that's 100% growth. Okay? So don't be too realistic. Be slightly unrealistic. Okay? That's pushing yourself off the comfort zone. Okay?
Yeah.
But how can you go from 312 to 412? Okay? Out of the 312 landlords that you deal with, how many of them can you pick up the phone and know very personally and say, you know what, let's have a coffee?
Majority of them. I've brought them
Just give me a number.
over 270.
Okay, let's say 200. Let's say 200. Would you tomorrow pick up the phone and say, can I have a coffee with you? I'll only take about 10 minutes of your time. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'll assure you it'll be worthwhile for you.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone, go and see them and tell them that this month, I will not charge you my fee. Or I'll give you 50% off my fee, whatever that might be for you, whatever is more suitable for you. If you give me names of 5 other landlords in this region that I can go and speak with, and would you introduce me to them?
Yeah.
Okay. Now your rent roll going from whatever it is may get a hit of about 20%, 30%, whatever that might be. Okay. This month, you didn't make any profits, 0 profits. Okay. You go and see 200 people, and if every one of them give you only 3 new people, that's 600 people.
Yeah.
Out of the 600, if you only sign up, how many? 100. That should not be rocket science, guys.
Yeah.
That should not be rocket science. It's a very simple formula, growing 25% of your company in under 6 months.
Yeah.
The whole process should not even take you 6 months. I'm just being very, very conservative here. Does that make sense, Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me cover another thing for you. Now let's say either it's Jassim or Seti. For both of them to do this process, you have to sacrifice. There's one thing you have to sacrifice. Tell me that one thing.
Time.
Time. You may not have time to eat. You may not have time to spend with your family. You may not have time for anything except phones and meetings and phones and meetings and creating the systems.
Can you see?
Okay? Sacrifice is what is required, which most people don't do. Okay?
Agree.
Most people are not prepared to say, you know what, I'm working 12, I'm going to push that 2 more hours, that 3 more hours, because it's just those 2 or 3 hours of more push is what's going to bring you the growth. Okay? You may not see your kid for 6 months, but when you come back, do you think you have a more secure future for them? Okay? When you come back, and I promise you this, and I've been through this feeling many, many times. When I've shifted my gear from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 3, you can't go from 1 to 3. You have to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on and so forth, right? When I've shifted my gear from 1 to 2, and when I come back home and I've not spent time with my family, with my daughter, and when I come back, I have this amazing feeling of achievement, which is actually transferred to my family, because now they can see I've achieved more in my life, and they feel more happier even if I've spent less time with them. Does that make sense? Okay. You may go and see your parents, you may go and see your siblings, you may go and see your kids, it doesn't really matter. You may go and see your partner, okay, your business partner, your life partner. When you've shifted a gear in about 15 days to a month to 2 months, right? And when you go and see them again, I promise you it's a different feeling altogether. You've just gone from 2 grand a month to 4 grand a month, or 4 grand a month to 8 or 10 grand a month. That is the feeling that just cannot be put in words. It's just, you gotta create that feeling. Okay. Have you been through that feeling? Seti, is that why the hand was up? Okay.
Yeah, and just to say that the feeling of achievement here.
Yeah.
Second to none.
There's second to none. Just there's nothing that compares it to that. Okay. But it requires sacrifice. It requires either time or money that you may be thinking, you know what, this is my rainy day money, right? I need to use, you may need to use that money to do what you want to do. Changing the gear, right? You're now going from a Ford car to a Mercedes. You're going from a Mercedes to a Ferrari, whatever that may be. Whatever it requires, you may have to do that. If the money goes into phone calls, meetings, systems, whatever that may be, right? I didn't just wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to create system, and I created 10 in a day. I'm investing loads and loads of money. There's a team of 10 people working in India for me, right? I'm paying them a full-time almost salary, okay? Even if it's an Indian salary, when you actually count 11 people, in fact, it's 11 people. When you look at 11 Indian salaries, it's a lot of money, I can promise you that.
Mm.
Okay? So I didn't just, you know, it didn't happen in a day. It takes sacrifice. And then at the core, what is the one thing that's missing with most people? Is trusting the process and yourself. It's the fact that you're looking at a deal and saying, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this bloody thing work. And if this doesn't work, I'll go and find 10 more, and I'll make sure that 1 or 2 of them will work. It's just that trust that most people miss. Either the trust in yourself or in the process that this is going to help me make money. Guys, do you remember I sent a link to a group which is called the Property Petrol Heads? Yeah, I don't know how many of you joined.
I am part of that.
You're part of that. I know, Jasim, you're in there. Sati, are you in there?
No, I'm not sure.
So there's a group called Property Petrol Heads. It's on Facebook as well as a WhatsApp group. I'll send the link again to you guys, okay? Most of the people in that group, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, you're in there. Okay? How many of them drive Ferraris and Lambos and
Quite a lot of them.
Martins? Quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
Guess why? Because the process works, guys. Property works. If you just know how to make it work for you. Okay? You've got Jasim in front of you. You've got Muzzy in front of you that's making it work. You've got Seti. You've got me. You've got people in front of you who are making it work. You just have to model the process and the way we're working in your context. Is everyone with me on this? Seti, go ahead.
Just want to add on, you know, like you've got a career, you're working, it's time consuming. End of the day, when you're working, most of us are going back to that 9 to 5 production of work and whatever not. On top of that, we all got families and whatever not, and you've got to spend time there. I get that. But one thing I find, just want to share this, the Sunday 1 hour power hour, just to make sure the whole week is planned, that you are getting everything slotted in, and you make time for it. You make it, it's just really scheduling it and organizing it well, and opportunities will come through that time. when you give yourself free times as well.
Seti, what a great point. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. So I was
I
saying
missed that in between. Can you repeat, please? Sorry. There's some noise in between.
Okay. So basically, I use Sundays 1 hour power hour.
Okay.
Yeah, and I schedule the whole week. So I'm not just talking about work. Work is work. That's one diary. Personal life is another diary. And now I've got a pen life as well. Yeah. So you look at that and you slot in what you've got to do and how you've got to do it. Okay. And then you'll find gaps during the week that you've got time to do things. When we say that we haven't got that time to do it, I know sometimes life happens. Something happens, you get drawn into things. But when you kind of schedule things in, and I learned this, and I'll be honest with you, I learned this from Robin Sharma.
Yes.
The monk who sold his Ferrari.
Yeah.
Making Sunday 1 hour power hour, just to schedule the whole week. And guess what? Meditation, my walk, my exercise, my time work, my time with you guys, my time with the family. Everything goes there. My time of learning new stuff, evolving myself, furthering what I want to do as well. Very useful.
That is a great point, Seti. Power hour, I believe it's got to be done. So there's the power hour of planning. There's a power hour on yourself personally. And there is the planning the day before, right? It's almost like you sleep knowing what needs to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's your diary. You gotta have a diary and you gotta make your to-do list and you keep ticking. And it's a great feeling when you have actually covered a task and it's done, like ticked, done, off the list. Okay. And focusing on the right targets as well, the right kind of activities as well. When you wake up in the morning, do you start from the least important activity to the most important, or the other way around?
Other way around.
Exactly. Focus on the one that's going to bring you money.
Yeah.
Focus on the one that's going to bring you money. Everything else can wait. Because when the money is coming in, it's a lot more easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything else can be delegated. Okay. It's the money making activities that need to happen first. Okay. But my question to everyone would be, what does it take to trust yourself in the process? What does it take to trust yourself in the process? Right? Just the fact that I'm 40 years old and I've survived 40 years, that's a proof. That's a proof that we can thrive. Okay. As humans, I was 16 years old. I lost a friend of mine. I lost my grandfather. I've lost young people, that I know around me. In fact, another friend that, not a friend, but an acquaintance, someone I knew, this guy slept. He had I think a 6 days old baby. 24, 25 years old, he slept, never woke up. Why am I sharing this with you? Is because when you wake up, just the fact that you've woken up, that's a proof in itself that you need to believe. You need to believe in yourself. Just the fact that you are here and you're watching this, or you are learning to really go from survive mode to thrive mode, is a proof in itself that you can do it. Okay. Watch the people around you that are doing well. What is it that they do? I used to, in fact, I did an event some time ago. This was about 5 or 6 years ago. I did an event, and one thing that I covered in it was that if you see someone who's really happy, like genuinely happy, and you feel that you are not genuinely happy, try and find out from that person the psychological framework of how is he different from you. How does he think towards kind of the things in life, the activities in life, or the people in life? If a person is more successful than you, There's got to be something that he knows that you don't. And all you got to do is dig deeper into that brain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. If you see someone who's more healthier than you are physically, and he's older than you are, and you're younger, and you're thinking, what the hell is happening with me? Well, guess what? That person probably knows something that you don't. And all you have to do now is find out what it is. Go and ask that person politely and say, you know what? I feel you're a lot more fitter than I am. What is it that you do? Likewise, changing the gear from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 and so on and so forth. Find out the person who is probably on the next gear. What is it that they are doing? And they're more likely going to tell you that they, at the core, it's always believing in yourself. It's all about standing, saying, you know what, I can do this. Even at the back of your mind, you're thinking, shit, how the hell am I going to deliver? Okay, Jasim, this is a question to you. Sometimes when you're speaking with a client, are you thinking at the back of your mind, how the hell am I going to deliver this?
Yeah, I'm currently speaking to a client and I'm exactly thinking that.
It isn't about delivering, guys. It's about having the confidence and saying, you know what, I will deliver. And once you've signed the client up, find a way to deliver. Find a way to deliver. Okay?
That is my attitude. That is my attitude 9 out of the 10 times. And currently I'm with a client and I'm on that 1 out of 10 times where I'm really thinking whether how will I deliver?
It's fine. Just
should I take it? Should I sign it or should I not sign it? That's the question I'm debating against.
Sign the client, ask me how to deliver. I'm thinking I don't know how to deliver. I will deliver. Are you with me?
I am.
Okay. It's all about believing in yourself, guys. And the belief really is going to come from inside you. It's going to come by watching people around you. Either you want to watch Seti, me, Jasim, or someone in your family, your friend, someone you knew at a younger age, whosoever that person might be, wherever that belief needs to come from. Find that belief and believe in yourself. Because the day you do, you'll be amazed at what happens in life. You will be literally amazed at what happens in life. Doors will open up for you where you were just never ever expect. In fact, doors will open from where you least expect them. You least expect them. You will sign up clients where you least expect them. Your money will come from the most least expected places. And you think, in fact, the other day, one of the brokers called me up, and this guy works very closely with me. I've recommended him loads and loads of business, probably business by now worth 6 or 7 million worth of business recommended to him. He messages me the other day. He says, one of your clients who didn't actually go through at that time came back to me later, and now I'm doing a deal for him, and there's 4 grand commission. There's 2 grand for you. Now, 2 grand isn't a lot of money, but guess what? I wasn't even expecting that. I wasn't expecting that money. He just messaged me out of random saying, there's 2 grand coming your way soon.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Yes. But guess why this is happening? I can assure you, this is only happening because I believe in what I do. I believe in myself. I believe in the process. And I believe there's deals to be done and we can get them done. Okay. I pick up the phone and I know exactly I'm going to close this person. Okay. Either it's a property deal, it's a finance deal, either I'm signing up a representative, or I'm going to collaboration with a larger company. The one I'm talking about yesterday, ABC, I don't know if you guys know ABC Finance, right? This is a large company. Okay. Brickflow is another large company. I'm going into collaborations with these guys. Okay. The reason was because I picked up the phone and there was absolutely no hesitation. I just know that I can bring them the business that they need, and they are going to need me. They're going to need me. How many people do you know who pick up the phone and think the client needs me? How many people think like that? You got to think like that. Okay. I just had one of the groups, I just had a girl called Amanda. She messaged saying, I've got a deal in Berkshire, planning uplift. Okay, send me here's my email. Can you send me the details? She messages me privately. Can you give me a call a bit later on? I messaged her saying, please, can you send me the deal by email? I do come across a lot of deals which don't stack up. She needs me, I don't need her. How many times do you speak with your clients like that? That you need me, huh?
Earlier, I never used to do that, but since January this year, I've been starting to do that.
Fantastic. Every time you pick up the phone, remember guys, the client needs you at least about 51% and you need them about 49%. Is everyone with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. You need them, they need you more than you do. And that is exactly the attitude you got to keep in the most humble way. I'm not saying attitude in a negative way. I'm saying in the most humble way that they need you more than you need. Sorry, they need you more than you need them. Okay. If they give you hassle, play the numbers game, guys. Okay. Play the numbers game. It is a numbers game. If you are speaking with, why did I say to Seti, you know, how many people would trust you? He said 270. I said, let's say 200. I didn't say go and ring 20 people. Did I? Okay. Jassim, you said 15 people. I said, go and ask for 5 more from each of them. Okay. Now that doesn't stop there. That doesn't stop there. Every person that they recommend, you can ask for 5 more. Either they sign up with you or not, just the fact that you're going to sit with them, add value to their life for 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. Either they sign up with you or not, you're going to still ask them, can you recommend me 2 or 3 more people?
Correct.
Does this chain ever stop?
No.
Exactly, guys. That is changing your gear from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on and so forth. Okay. And if you are not prepared to believe in the process, please, guys, don't worry. Just sit at home. You're better off watching Netflix. You have to believe in the process. You have to believe in yourself. I really cannot insist enough. Okay. This process does not stop anywhere. I can sit, you know, that in fact, a couple of days ago, I had about an hour. All the tasks that I was looking at to do, they all needed longer time. So they couldn't be done in 1 hour. And I had this 1 hour and I thought, what shall I do? And guess what I did? I went on Facebook and I went into groups and I started commenting in group posts. Okay. And I said, you know, someone was looking, I can't even remember what it was. So someone was looking for an architect and they said, you know, I'm looking for this and this. And I said, this is what I didn't even recommend an architect. All I did was I shared them with them a process. Okay. And they said, thank you, you know, and they actually sent me a friend request to connect with me. So I didn't go there to generate leads. I didn't go there to generate business. All I did was, you know what, I'm just going to go and serve. That's the mindset I went with. Okay. And guess what happens at the back end of it? You'll be surprised. People will connect with you. People will want to know who you are. People want to work with you because you've just helped them without any expectations. Okay. So when you meet these guys, yes, you want to close the business, but at the same time, you want to serve 15, 20 minutes, half an hour of adding value. And at the end of it, even if they don't sign up with you and you ask them, can you recommend me to 2 or 3, 4, 5 people that might be interested in what I do? Well, guess what? They're more likely to recommend you someone.
You've already added value to them. So they're quite likely to do that.
They're quite likely to. Not necessarily everyone would. Okay. Don't be too stubborn about it. No, not everyone would, but some of them would, and that's more than enough. And this chain does not stop, guys. This is a very easy chain to create. It's very easy to grow from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on and so forth. Okay. And I'm not even gonna, you know, do you guys want me to again touch on the marketing touch points? How many touch points can you create? How many touch points are created by content creation, either on your podcasts or YouTube channels? If you guys don't have all of this, you need to create all of this. Okay. Every time, in fact, the funny thing is I logged into Anchor, which is where our podcasts go. And it's a company that's owned by Spotify. I logged into Anchor yesterday And last time I checked Anchor was about 2 months ago, and the total views were like 170, 180. I never logged into it. 2 months later, the total views were 450. That's another 280 people listening to our podcasts. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. I got a email. Yeah, well, in fact, you get this email every time. If you have a YouTube channel, every month they'll send you your stats for the month. Okay. Let me share with you the stats that I had mine last month. And I was actually surprised. Last month, I had 3,969 minutes of content watched on my YouTube channel. How many hours is that? Divide that by 60, 3,969. So 66 hours of content consumed on my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay. And then it says 572 new views and 30 plus subscribers. This was last month, guys. 39 shares. So 39 people have shared my videos. These are all touch points, guys. How long did it take me to create these videos? Not forever, just a few hours. You know, in fact, I'm not even generating enough content. Okay. And then this is 66 hours of content here. And then I've got another 280 new downloads on the podcast. All these are touch points that you need to create more business. I'm pretty sure SETI is not much into digital stuff at the moment. Are you? Is Hansen Estates very, very active on the digital platforms?
Not as active as what we should be, but yeah, we're not nowhere near it.
If you put in 2 hours a week in your diary, do you think you can do that now, Sati?
Yeah.
2 hours a week. That is definitely not going to change a lot of your life.
No.
It's not. 2 hours a week. Like Justin is spending, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours a week for these Friday nuggets.
About an hour and a half a week.
And did you say an hour?
1 hour to 1.5 hours a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's for the digital contents to share out. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for that.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, it's changing gear. You're not, Sati, just because you're going to start a YouTube channel doesn't mean you're going to change your gear. But over a period of time, just that YouTube channel in and itself will help you change your gear.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a gradual process over a period of 12 months of content creation that will take you from, I don't know, 312 properties to maybe 350.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a combination of multiple efforts that you need to put in to be able to change your gear. Okay. But that all really comes down to one and only one thing. And that is believing in the process and believing in yourself. Okay. You need to believe that. In fact, one thing that I always share is that, you know, a lot of people look at life and grass is always greener on the other side. It never is. It never, ever is. Okay. Grass is always, always greener is where you are. It's just that you just have not dug deep enough. Okay. All the money you're ever going to make is where you are. If you start looking at other people's gardens and think, I'm going to go and dig there, you're going to come empty-handed, guys. Okay. All your money is where you are. You're going to make all your money in property business if you find the right strategy, the right pockets, so locations, and that will be that's it. And just creating a system in place to be able to close more business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Seti, most of your money in your life is going to come from lettings.
Yeah.
You can add developments later on. But if you dig deep enough into more lettings and go from 300 to 600 properties or 1,000 properties, that should not be rocket science for you. It's a matter of focusing and digging deeper.
Yeah.
Expanding your zone of reach and providing the benefits and the service. Are you on Trustpilot? Is it Trustpilot?
Yeah, Trustpilot.
Trustpilot. Are you on Trustpilot?
We were on Trustpilot. We came off Trustpilot, but it is something we need.
You need to be on it, and you need to be so obsessed about its rating. There are estate agents who are competing on the basis of Trustpilot rating.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, every business is different. There's a point I'm making. If your company is on Trustpilot and it has, let's say, 4.8% rating, and there's another one who has 4.4 rating, and I am a landlord, guess who I'm going to choose?
The highest.
Exactly. That's helping you change gear from one point to the next point, to the next point, to the next point, and so on and so forth. Okay? It's just looking after the tiny things, the most intricate details that you can imagine that will help you in the process. Okay? I don't know if you have that, but if you go on Google, and Google normally gets you a tick, if you speak with your tech team, it gives you a tick on Google itself. Okay? If you do that, people tend to trust that website regardless. Go and speak with your team, get that done. Again, the reason I'm covering these small, intricate details is because they make a difference between someone choosing you over someone else.
Yeah.
Are people able to find you on Google? Are people able to find you on Facebook? Are people able to find you on LinkedIn? Are people able to find you on multiple channels? Makes a huge difference. Okay, makes a huge difference. You go and write my name on Jack Dover on Google. Okay, you may find some rubbish stuff because people criticize when you're growing, but you're going to find tons and tons of stuff. And I wake up believing, I insist on believing that when I create content, it reaches the right kind of people, and then people get in touch with me, and the fact that they'll do business with me. I believe in this process. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wake up, and let's say, I'm not sure why Roger is unable to hear me, but Roger, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jack.
Roger, I wanted to apply this into your context. I don't know, I shouted your name earlier, but I couldn't really get a response from you. Okay? But let's say if I apply this to your context. Shall I do that?
Yeah, by all means, you got my undivided attention.
Okay, all right, okay. So let's say you are looking for development deals, okay?
Yeah.
And you call Seti tomorrow and say, Seti, I'm looking for development deals in this zone. You got to restrict yourself with the zone. You can't call Seti and say, I'm looking for development deals up and down the country, okay?
Fair enough.
Okay, you call Seti and say, you know what, you are in this region. I'm looking for development deals. Can you keep an eye for me? Okay. Seti,
Yep.
You know what? If you don't trust me, here is a couple of £100 retainer. I'm sure he does trust you because we are a part of the family here. Okay. But I'm saying just remotely, he says, you know what? I'm not sure if you're going to sign up. I'm not sure if you're going to buy the property from me. Okay. Seti, here is a couple of £100 of retainer from me. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm listening. Absolutely.
You pick up the phone and whatever region you're in, okay, you call every single sourcer and every single person who covers that area and say, I'm looking for development deals. If you are not able to find them yourself, now I'm not saying you can't find them yourself, you can find them yourself as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You go online, you go on Google, you go on CBRE's website, you go on Gazette, you look at our website, you reach out to me, you reach out to other members, you reach out to people that you know, you reach out on our groups. Okay. But it's a conscious and consistent effort in the process and believing in yourself that this actually works for you. And then you go and find those deals. And I think one of the things that you are potentially stuck with is that you look at a deal, you analyze it, and you just cannot go any further. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're very true. It's very true. I'm finding deals. I've I've taken some of those steps that you've mentioned, where I am in touch with some of the sources, specifically within the Penn Group.
Yeah.
Ironically, it's up and down the country, though, not necessarily in Surrey, where I am. All the deals seem to be north of the M25.
That's
Or
fine,
north
yeah.
of,
Yeah.
But I spend way too much time analyzing deals. I've been able to actually, I think, simplify my process a little bit by automating it, so I can get the numbers that I'm looking for a lot quicker now.
Yeah.
But then the next hurdle that I'm coming across, well, is twofold. One is the deals that I'm looking for are maybe a little bit too big
Yes.
for me to do at the moment. Not because I'm not capable, but because I haven't got sufficient track record.
Yes.
And I'm quite loath to take a few steps back, and I think that's a hurdle that I need. I need to do it. I need to just take a few steps back to go a few steps forward. So I need to be looking at developing on deals that are, smaller than what I've been looking for at the moment.
So there's a couple of things, Roger, here. One is, you're right. I think you've been looking at deals that are way too big. Okay. And the context that you are in, you're going to find yourself, it's going to be a bit too much of a push, because with COVID as well, it's just not helping anyone. And
Yep.
the fact that you even though you have the experience, and I know that, but you haven't done these deals yourself, and that track record really is going to be a major hindrance for you. Okay.
It is indeed, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's time to focus on slightly smaller ones. I would say a good starting point for you would be 8 and 9 units. Okay.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go slightly bigger, maybe 25 units, no more than that. Okay?
Yeah.
And going from that point, but I think one thing that I believe, again, this is just, I may be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong there. Okay. I think at one point you do have to decide and say, you know what, I believe that I can do it, and are able to sacrifice something in your life. You know what I'm getting this at.
Yeah, I do indeed. I do indeed, and I'm trying to juggle, and one of the reasons why I'm going for the slightly bigger projects is because I'm factoring a month, like a salary, so to speak. I can pay myself a salary, which is going to replace what I'm earning at the moment. For me to take something smaller, the numbers really need to stack up. Not to say that they won't do. I've been focusing on bigger because I'm looking at a specific number that I need to.
I understand that. Yeah. I can see that. But here is a question for you. I think you just said it like a couple of minutes ago, 2 steps back to take 1 step forward.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Maybe 3 steps back.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you have to take a few steps back to take a few steps forward.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I was honestly at a point where I was thinking of moving up north. And this is about 3 years ago. I was considering moving up north because I could see I can do a lot more deals up north because it's a lot more easier, a lot more cheaper. While in London, it's a lot more difficult because deals are a lot more expensive. Okay. So there are less people, with £500,000 and £1 million sitting around, and a lot more people who have 50, 100,000, 150,000. Okay. So if you're sitting up north, you can be doing 10 deals while someone who's sitting in London may only do 1 deal. Okay. Don't be surprised at that. That's a fact. Okay. So at one point I was considering moving up north so I could get more deals done.
Yeah.
Okay. But it didn't quite happen. Then the things, kind of started going to plan, and, we managed to pull it off. But I was at that point. I don't see any harm if you have to take 2 steps back to take, 1 or 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
It's a change in strategy, it's a change in lifestyle. Okay. But guess what? The last thing you want to do is be employed and working for someone. I don't know whose phone is that with the noise.
Not mine.
But the last thing you want to do is looking back 2 years later and thinking, I'm still employed. Okay. That is not where you want to be. Okay. I look back when I was employed, this was precisely 18 years ago, 17 or 18 years ago. I was employed and I cannot just go, I can never imagine going back to a employment. Okay?
Yeah.
I am restricted. I have to do things that they want me to do. I won't want to be in that position. Okay? That means waking up early morning, sacrificing on my time, on sometimes many things in my life. You know, I want to go and, you know, live in a spiritual place for a few months. I'm unable to do that because I'm focused on my business. I want to go and learn music. I can't do that. These are all sacrifices. Okay? What I'm not sacrificing is my health, but a lot of other things are sacrifices. Okay? And you may have to sacrifice that to be able to take that next step.
Understood.
And again,
Yeah.
and again, it comes down to the core thing which I've been covering, Roger, here, is believing that you can do it. Nothing else is going to come. It just has to be your belief that you can do it. I say believe and do what helps you progress. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So my question to everyone now is, what is your next step to change your gear? Let's start with Jasim, because we started with Jasim earlier. Jasim, what is your next step?
Those 10 to 15 calls.
And after that?
Multiply by 5, 3 to 5, 3 to 5, 3 to 5, and that series keeps going on.
And after that?
After that, add value to the people I'm talking to, and then try and close as many as I can, where I can.
Creating the systems on the way. Remember, you can't deal with that many people.
That is something I need to add to. Sure.
You will change one gear, but I think you will go from 2 to 3 and you will get stuck, because now your car.
Your new members as well.
Very fresh.
Very fresh. Yeah, that's it. You're in a good spot. It's a really good spot. Yeah, that's
So,
just that one I want to see.
Your photo
that
ID.
was
That's it. Brilliant. Thank you very much. And your number is 1411.
Roger, can you mute yourself, please?
Gotcha. Lovely.
Jack, you can mute him.
I've done that. So, Jasim, you're going to go from 2 to 3.
Correct.
And now, because your car doesn't have the power and the systems in place,
I don't think it is more the power. I think it's more the system, because I'm already feeling that with regards to project management and the project that I'm managing, where I've gone from 2 to 3, and because I'm not able to systemize quite a few things, and because I am considering going back to 2. I'm still not gone back to 2, but I want to bring in those systems. That is the conversation we had a few days ago.
Yes. So my question to you is, can you autopilot your marketing with webinars?
I can.
Webinars, autopilot, you just have to create 1 or 2 hours of video, adding all the value that you want to, 2-3 hours, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Or maybe 2-3 different videos. Create them, put them on autopilot on a webinar, and that's the end of it. After that, you're generating content on regular basis, whatever that might be, Friday nuggets, and that's it. That's your end of it. That will help you generate a lot of leads. Okay.
Understood.
That's your marketing automated. Okay.
Just as an example, I don't know if you know this lady called Alice Williams, right?
Yes, I do.
So she's a finance broker again.
She works for Pilot Fish. Yes.
Yes, the same lady. So she created two webinars kind of thing. One was all about development finance. Other one was all about some other type of finance.
Yes.
And that is more like a webinar mode, and she gives it free of cost. So obviously, which means she has kind of, is that what you're referring to as put out a content as a webinar and automate it? Is that what you're referring to?
That's exactly what I'm referring to. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
You create a webinar, either it's 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever that might be, on your skills and how you can add value to the project. That goes on your YouTube channel. And that goes every time a person wants to speak with you. It goes to them before you even speak with them. So the next time when they pick up the phone and call you, or you pick up the phone and call them, they're already familiar with what you can do.
Sure.
Okay. They are already a warm lead.
Sure.
Then you will get to a point where you can run ads based on that webinar.
Sure.
And then generate leads from that point.
Understood.
A single lead may be worth £1,000 to you, or 5,000, whatever that might be. to generate that lead might cost you 200.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. This is marketing on autopilot. Okay. You're going to observe over a period of time all that, what we do as well at PEN. You're going to see all of that. Okay.
Agreed. Okay.
But that's your marketing on autopilot.
Understood.
Okay. Your investor days. Simultaneously, while you have your webinar autopilot, people will come to you, they'll watch the autopilot webinar, you speak with them for 10 minutes, but then it's time to book them into your investor days. And on your investor days, it's time to sign them up. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Creating a system in place that deals come to you rather than you go behind them. Okay. So estate agents that you have good relationships with, they send you emails, you wake up in the morning, you've got 2, 3, 5, 10 deals in your inbox, you analyze them, boom, 10 minutes, done, the deal is packaged. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure that there are other softwares that you can potentially use to, relieve your burden from the day-to-day operations.
Correct.
Okay. But it all has to be on autopilot as much as possible. As much as possible. You literally will never get to a point in your life where you don't have to pick up the phone. You always have to pick up the phone. Okay. You may have a team of 2, a team of 20, or a team of 2,000 or 200,000. Doesn't really matter. You still have to pick up the phone and speak with people. What I'm saying is the more you automate this, the faster you can grow. Okay. And this automation can be applied to any business on the planet. Like literally you name the business and it can go on autopilot. Okay. Guys, if you don't know Asana, go check Asana. It's a software. It's for your activities. We've used Asana previously. We don't use it at the moment, but we may use it in the future. A-S-A-N-A, Asana. So Jasim, do you know a few of your next steps now?
Yes, I do.
Can you send me a picture of your diary tomorrow with all these steps written?
Done.
Can you send me a picture of the activities that you will do in the next month, next week or so?
Sure.
Okay. Seti? Is he there?
I think he
he's
just
not
stepped
here.
out for something.
Yeah. Okay. So who else wants to go? Who else wants to go with this, right? Who wants me to take them through this, right? Muzzy? Vicky? I don't know. You tell me. Esther? I think Esther has her hand up. I don't know if that means what that means. Esther, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Would you like me to take you through this?
I don't mind, but I'm new into it, so I would need a little bit help.
That's okay. I'll give you guidance on the way. So
Thank you.
what do you want to achieve? I know I've asked you this, but there's a reason I'm asking you again. What do you want to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years?
I want to build much on my property portfolio.
And what kind of portfolio are you talking about? Is it rent to rent? Is it BTLs, HMOs? What kind of portfolio?
BTLs.
BTLs. Okay.
Yeah.
You know that BTLs isn't necessarily the best investment.
No.
Okay, so maybe you need to go back to the videos that I've shared with you and watch from that point. Again, I'm not saying they are bad investments. I'm just saying they're not the best investments. Okay?
Okay, what about the buy, refurbish, and sell?
That's a good strategy. That's a good strategy. But let's say, okay, just for the sake of this context, let's go with flip deals. Okay?
Okay.
Tomorrow morning when you wake up, between all the PEN members here, and there's about 25 of us, I think, right? Can you make sure that you ring everyone and speak with everyone for about 5 minutes?
Okay.
Get to know them, where they're based, what they can do for you, and what is it that you can do for them.
Okay.
And remember, everyone knows you here now. Okay, you're already in the group. Everyone knows you in the groups, right?
Okay.
And from that point, you ask everyone if they will come back to you if they come across a flip deal in your region, in your zone. Okay, stick to your zone, guys. That's very, very important. Okay, you can't call me and say, can you find me a deal in Leeds? I'm not sitting in Leeds. Okay, you can call that and ask Jasim. But the question is, where are you focused? And if anyone in this team can help you find deals in that region.
Okay.
As well as the fact that you're going to sit down and call all the estate agents in the local region and show, so basically register your interest.
Okay.
And you can do is, you can go on Rightmove and Zoopla, do a search and save that search. So the next time someone uploads a property on these platforms, that you get a notification. Do you know how to do that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. These are some of your next steps. Okay.
Okay.
And then you can go to the WhatsApp groups of PEN, and there is quite a few of them. There's about, between the team, I don't know, there's about 40 of them. So Harry has 4. I have about 23, 24 of my own. And then we've got other members. So there's loads of groups there. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you make sure that you join most of them and start to connect with people in that for your region?
Okay.
Okay. So you are based in, remind me, where are you based? Which town are you based in?
Hertfordshire.
You're in Hertfordshire. You are actually on the corner with M25 and A41, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Seti, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
No, sorry, I had to use the bathroom. I heard you call my name.
Sorry?
I think you called out for me when I was in the bathroom.
No, I think you were away. No, that's okay. That's okay. So who here gets deals in Hertfordshire? Anyone here gets deals in Hertfordshire? Okay.
Town in Hertfordshire we're talking about.
That's okay. So if you go to the groups, Esther, the PEN groups, and ask there, you're gonna come across loads of people who are covering deals in that zone.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
When you watch these videos, you're gonna learn how to analyze flip deals.
Okay.
Are you with me? And if you struggle with any of those aspects, come back to me. I will give you feedback on that.
I will do. Thank you.
I will. Are you with me? These are some of your next steps till you get to a point where you can, where you can start to systemize this a bit more. Okay.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
This is your kind of next step, or changing from gear 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Who else wants to go with me? Let's see. I want to see everyone's next steps, man, because I believe if you don't have your next steps written, you're not going to go there. Vicky? Can you hear me, Vicky?
Hi, I can hear you. Sorry, I'm just driving. Yeah.
That's okay.
My next steps is to do some viewings. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm working with Lavanya on that. So hopefully next week or the week after, we'll get to do some of that. Yeah.
Okay. When you're working with Lavanya, can you make sure you take me on a call with you?
Yeah, can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So take me on a call, and then I will take you through some of that process.
Yeah. Okay.
Anita, what is your next step?
I think I need to be more socially active with my counterparts in Southeast Asia, actually.
Okay. So my question to you, Anita, would be, can you write me an email with the requirements of some of the clients that you work with?
Okay.
And I will give you some feedback on how to pursue that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah. And then at the same time, just make sure that you do all the videos, and then let me know if you want to start to have your own Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups. Bear in mind, guys, one thing that I want to discuss a bit later on as well is you are completely open to starting your own groups. You don't have to have a PEN group. Okay.
I just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah,
If on the PN in a way that, because everyone's giving content on videos,
Yes.
now could I get deal of the week from each pen group, you know, each member of the pen group, and then just portray that on my video? Because at the moment I don't have local deals that are going on. But if I could leverage on someone, like Lavanya does a deal, and then deal of the week is from Lavanya.
We can do that too. We can do that too. But at the same time, you need to be in a position, Anita, where you can find your own deals as well.
Yes, of course.
I will, once you watch these videos, you're going to learn a lot of it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask everyone a question. Okay. Let's say you leave this meeting, and this is for you, Harry, as well. Let's say you go back home today and you say, you know what, I really need to make some money. Okay, I really need to make some money. And can you go and find a 10% below market value deal on Zoopla and Rightmove? 15%? Close by? Yeah? Okay, so we have Harry here. Would you go and package a deal? So let's say you go and find something that's 15% below market value where you are. So you know the area well. You know how to find them, right? Easy? Easy. Just search the most reduced, or the last ones that they've been on the platform for the longest period of time. Look at that deal, call up the estate agent and say, you know what, I've got a buyer for this. Even if you don't, okay? Even if you don't, it doesn't really matter if you have a buyer at this stage, okay? Come back, speak with the estate agent and say, I have a buyer for this. Is that okay? He's not gonna say no. Why would he say no to you? Okay, you're getting him a buyer. You're gonna charge buyer's fee, he's gonna get his seller's fee. You come back home, you create a you create a Word document, convert it into PDF, all the basic numbers, okay, about the area. Why would someone invest in this area? Okay, and that one-page PDF, can you send it to me tomorrow? Can you send me one? Can you send that in the group and ask everyone to share with their network? Can you do that? Yeah. No, I know. There is a reason I'm saying. Okay, so you do this next week. Okay. I will take that PDF and send it to my email list as well as all the groups. Okay. And let's see if we can get a deal done. Can you do that? Can you see that's changing gear from one point to the other? Now, I'm not saying that's your strategy. What I'm saying is, can you see that's a one step ahead, one step forward? Okay. Vicky, you could be sitting in Canning Town, right? Can you go and find a deal that's 10% below market value?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah, 10, 15% is easy stuff, right? Can you create a Word or a PDF file of that, a one-page document? Why would someone invest in that area? And here are the numbers. We've negotiated the property for you, you know, and can you send it to all the team members here?
Yeah, will do.
Let's get a deal done. Let's get a deal done. Yeah. How many people do you know who even know how to use Rightmove and Zoopla? Or for that matter, go on Google and write down what is it that they're looking for. If you go on Google and write down, I'm looking for below market value properties, you'll be surprised. You'll probably spend about a week scrolling through thousands of websites where you will find these below market value deals. There may be 5% below, there may be 10% below, there may be 12%, 15% below. It doesn't really matter. But how many people do you know who actually go and do that? Not many. Okay. Just because you go and do that, you are a step ahead of the buyers. Are you with me? You are already a step ahead of the buyers. You just need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of the buyers. That's all it is. Okay. Just because you've been with us, the amount of knowledge you have of the property, how many steps are you ahead of most people in the world, or in fact in UK, let's say? How many steps ahead are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's enough to get you deals done, guys. All you got to do is believe in yourself, create a system in place, and keep doing the same thing. Keep banging every day. Okay. Unfortunately, I think Lydio was struggling yesterday with one of his deals, and Jasim was with him on it. Jasim,
Tell me about it, Jack.
And this deal, right? Why do you not have more than one deal? Like, why are you just depending on one deal? That's my question.
We are not depending on one deal. See, we are trying to create that pipeline of deals.
Yes.
And then
But it's giving you a lot of pain.
No, when you're looking at it, we understand that it is not something that will happen overnight. We need to keep, every week we pipeline a set of viewings. We go do those viewings.
Yes.
If you do 8-9 viewings in a day, not all 9 are worth putting an offer on. Maybe say 2 or 3 are worth putting an offer on. Some take some time to negotiate. Sometimes some might just say, yes, let's go for it. So, okay. So with that, we had progressed on this one. It's not just the one deal that we are working on. It's just that that was one deal where we went and saw last week and we said we are going forward and we had to package that deal.
Yes, it's giving you a lot of pain. I understand that.
Yeah, so it's not something that we are just working on one deal. We are trying to create those numbers, but it takes some time to create those numbers to get those right type of deal. And
it does, yeah.
We are focusing on one specific area, Derby. After a period, we realize while it does not have Article 4, it is saturated and will soon become Article 4. At the same time, it is not that easy, because if you really want a commercial conversion, if you really want a commercial valuation, you need to have 7 rooms plus, because that is where you're changing the planning in Derby to get that to make it happen. And Derby Council, if it is a larger HMO, is now starting to go for every planning that application you put, it's starting to go to committee. And the councillors in the committee just hate HMOs.
Okay.
They are giving all planning applications a very hard time.
Okay.
My architect who's helping me with the job in Kegworth, I had a long chat with him on how he's managing with that. He's saying it's just too difficult.
Okay.
So at the same time, when we realized like Derby was becoming a little difficult in terms of finding, and it has its own challenges, we had a long chat with Muzzy in terms of if he had to come towards Coventry, because that also helps us in giving some business towards Muzzy and offering a complete value pack to our investor clients.
Yes.
Okay. So so that's how now we started focusing on Coventry. We are pipelining because I keep going to Midlands every week. So when I'm there, we do these visits, site visits. We understand what's happening and how do we package, and we put together a package and then we sell it. It's not that we are dependent on one deal. It's just that you're trying to make it work with what you have, and then it takes some time to build that numbers.
It does. In fact, sometimes when you wake up, it does feel like a brick wall. And that's a part of the process, guys. When you wake up, it sometimes does feel, I can assure you, regardless of the stage you are at, you're going to wake up one day and think this shit is like a brick wall and I have to break it with my head. It's again a part of the process.
We were having a hard time, no doubt, but that does not mean that we are stopping over there or anything. We are continuing, but it's just that one specific thing we negotiated, the price came down slightly, whatever, and that was not a price that we put forward. That was a price that the vendor put forward to us, saying, I can do this, I can't do anything better than this.
That's true. But again, the reason I actually pointed on that deal is that if you have numbers behind you, it really shouldn't really bother you.
Correct.
Okay. In fact, the funny thing that happened before we started this call is I started counting the number of finance cases I'm working on, and I was under the impression about 50. How many did we count? 90? 95 finance cases, guys. I've gone from 30 to 50 to 70 before COVID, and down to about 30 to 50 to 90 something now. Okay. How many are we going to close? I am yet to know. Okay. Out of the 90 something, I think there's about 10 of them that Harry has brought in. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is, yes, sometimes you wake up and it feels like a brick wall, but guess what? It's a part of the process. You just have to believe it works, and you have to consistently keep doing your work. Okay. And that's just the finance cases. We counted 30, and I had not even counted another one. There was about 35, 36 construction cases going on. So these are just leads that may potentially lead to business. Okay, either now or in a few months' time or a year's time, whatever they may be. These are just leads going on. Okay, some of them are closing. So some of these leads are closing. But yeah, that's what's happening. So that's just, again, believing in the process and believing in yourself. Okay. All right, guys, any more questions?
No questions. Once you're done recording, I have something that I want to discuss with you, and I would like to discuss with everyone else being there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will.
Something I came across, and I just want to take your feedback.
Okay. Good. I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you guys for watching.